Dear friends, welcome to yet another installment of Strategic Power. In this video, we will address how Taiwan has become the center of a global dispute between the U.S. and China. A Chinese invasion or blockade of the island could trigger an economic crisis of trillions of dollars, given Taiwan's dominance over semiconductors vital for global technology. Despite Beijing's rhetoric, military action now would jeopardize China's own economic rise. Is it worth taking this risk over one island? If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel now and turn on notifications so you can stay up to date. Taiwan, although smaller than the state of Rio de Janeiro, has emerged as a focal point for intense global disputes. At the epicenter of tensions between the world's major powers, the United States and China, this island has become an object of strategic concern. Many experts warn that a possible Chinese invasion or even a blockade of its ports could trigger a crisis on the scale comparable to World War II, resulting in a global economic impact of over $2 trillion. In the following video, I will explore the background of this dispute and discuss why it has devastating potential for the international community. Taiwan, located 130 kilometers from mining land China, is home to a population of 24 million, has its own constitution, armed forces, and local currency. Popularly known as Formosa Island, a term coined by the Portuguese in 1542, the region has a history marked by colonial disputes between the Dutch and Spanish, in addition to having been controlled by the Japanese at one point. The increased discussion of war is rooted in the 1949 Chinese Civil War, which marked the beginning of the current conflict. That year, the communists led by Mao Zedong took control of China, causing those defeated in the Civil War to flee to Taiwan. For decades, both parties claimed authority over the Chinese nation, a dispute that persisted until the 1970s. Most countries aligned with the United States recognized Taiwan as representing China, while the Communist bloc attributed this status to the Beijing government. During this period, there was a delicate rapprochement between the United States and China, resulting in a delicate balance. Since the 1970s, the United States has adopted a stance of strategic ambiguity on this issue. They maintain the One China policy, recognizing Taiwan as an integral part of China, which implies not recognizing the island's independence or sovereignty. However, the United States advocates maintaining Taiwan's autonomous government or the status quo in the region. At the same time, it is committed to ensuring Taiwan's military defense capability while advocating peaceful solutions to the dispute. In the current scenario, the policy that maintained relative stability in the region for half a century is being challenged by China's economic rise and increased tensions between the United States and China. U.S. intelligence expresses concern that the Chinese are preparing for a possible invasion of Taiwan by 2027. At the recent meeting between Xi Jinping and Joe Biden at the end of last year, the American president reiterated the continuation of the existing policy, while the Chinese leader denied any intention to invade the island in 2027, but stressed his goal of reuniting Taiwan. In his New Year's message, Xi Jinping stated that reunification with Taiwan is inevitable, further emphasizing China's firm position. Tensions in the Taiwan Strait have increased, marked by military exercises and provocations from both sides. Despite hostilities, China and Taiwan maintain intense trade, with China being the island's largest trading partner since 2005. Yes, Taiwan's Silicon Shield is widely recognized. Taiwan holds the position of world's largest semiconductor producer, essential for chip manufacturing. In 2021, the island dominated about 90% of this global market. When it comes to more advanced chips used in devices like cell phones and computers, Taiwan accounts for over 90% of production. These semiconductors play a crucial role in various sectors, including high-tech weaponry. Therefore, the Taiwanese represent a vital link in the production chain of a wide range of high-tech products, ranging from fighter jets to electric cars, hence the expression Silicon Shield, to describe the strategic importance of Taiwan in maintaining this supply chain. Both China and the United States have made substantial investments in semiconductor technology, seeking to reduce their dependence on Taiwan. However, as chips become smaller, more powerful, and more complex, Taiwan continues to maintain its market leadership. It is worth noting that most of the island's industry, ports, and population are located on the west coast, closest to China. This makes it even more vulnerable to a possible invasion or commercial blockade. If Taiwan's ports are blocked, this could trigger a global crisis. Many experts consider a blockade to be a more likely scenario than a full invasion of the island. The nature of the islands makes them challenging territories for military invasions, and the mountainous topography and scarcity of suitable beaches for troop landings make Taiwan an even more protected region in this regard. The price of an invasion would have significant implications for the world. The Hudum Economic Research Group estimated that a simple naval blockade would result in a disruption in trade and investment in the region, with costs exceeding $2 trillion in the global economy, considering only the direct effects without counting the secondary effects. In addition, any hostile act by China against Taiwan would be followed by a series of Western sanctions, similar to what happened in the case of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The impact of this situation would be catastrophic, considering that China accounts for about 20% of world GDP, often being called the factory of the world and the largest exporter, contributing 15% of all global exports. Imagining the paralysis of a country of such magnitude would have profound consequences for the global economy. An invasion of China at this time would represent an existential risk, considering that the Chinese economy is driven by industry and trade, and possible sanctions could freeze these activities. In addition, the Chinese economy is still heavily dependent on dollar financing and American technology. China is aware of these challenges, but the reunification of Taiwan remains part of the rhetoric of the Chinese Communist Party, especially under the leadership of Xi Jinping. The storm is approaching in the Taiwan Strait. Beneath the calm waters, titanic forces clash. On the one hand, Beijing's relentless ambition to subjugate the rebel island. On the other, Washington's equally unwavering determination to defend Taiwanese democracy. In the middle of the maelstrom, little Taiwan holds its fragile silicon shield, knowing that if it shatters, the gears of the global economy will jam. It is a collision of wills between two superpowers in which there seems to be no room for concessions. I fear that if diplomacy fails, the thunder of cannons will replace dialogue. May the gods help us. If this black scenario comes true, the evolution of this scenario will continue to be closely monitored. For more videos on this topic, subscribe to our channel.